Hello, dear friends, family, possibly teachers, strangers, enemies, welcome. It is my pleasure to welcome you here at the Summer FestofKAA 2024. I'm very glad you joined us. First, we wanted to say a couple of words about yesterday's events because we feel like it's very important. We just wanted to say that we do not condone violence of any kind, and we just wanted to use this platform that we sort of have to remind all of you to treat each other with respect and understanding, regardless of what your views are, because that's what we all need right now. Thank you. That being said, thank you again for coming. We hope you will enjoy this performance at this time of ending the school year and entering the exam period. I'm sure some of you will be able to relate to some of the stuff that we are going to be talking about. Before that starts, a couple of notes. Number one, the performance is a shorter one at about 50 minutes, depending on how fast we will be speaking. So there will be no intermission. So if you needed to use the bathroom, you should have thought about that earlier. On the other hand, if you need to catch the bus, no problems there. If you're worried about the chlebičky that we traditionally have during the intermission, don't. They are going to be available at the end of the play with champagne. It's fine. I'm going to remind you again. Second thing, if any of you aren't maybe as experienced theater goers as some others, please turn your phones to silent mode, preferably without vibrations. For ultimate cultural experience, you can also turn them off, but I'm sort of staying realistic. And lastly, I would just like to wish you a pleasant experience and note that the following events are based on real events. Although some of the details were adjusted since the real thing happened in a dimension beyond human comprehension.
And all in all, I think it was one of the best presentations I've seen this semester. A+ work from start to finish. I'm sure that once you do, it's going to go far.
I'm glad to hear it. We might as well start. No reason to make the poor thing more nervous than it already is.
Are you ready?
Yeah,
It's time to start.
I'm coming.
There's just one part of my presentation I don't have with me yet. Do you want us to wait? Oh, no, my roommate is getting it. It should be here any second now. I hope. Please relax. This is just an info review. But you told me my grades depended on this. Try not to think about it.
We've all read your thesis and supporting material. It's...
Actually, I must confess, I haven't gotten to all of it. But I'm sure you can fill me in on anything you like. I will try my best. So why don't we begin with a brief summary of your project? For my master's thesis, I elected to devise a self-sustaining and self-evolving matter-based ecosystem in a universe of 3 dimensions. And so, I created the heavens and the earth. And now that you devised this planetary ecosystem, how do you feel about it? Well, to be honest, I think it's good.
Could you be a little more specific?
Certainly. I feel the Earth has succeeded in every way I hoped it. The amount of gravity is sufficient to keep things on the planet, and yet light enough to let trees grow tall and animals run and jump. The weather cycle, given its complexity, is quite efficient. Photosynthesis and oxidation balance each other effectively. All in all, the Earth is fundamentally capable of self-sustaining.
Unless, of course, the human being blows it all up.
The human being?
Those are the two-legged creatures with smelly armpits.
Oh, yes. We'll get to him later. Go on. The design philosophy behind the Earth, I must admit, was aesthetics focused. Well, there's really no overwhelming need for parrots or shrimp within the grand scope of things. I sought to create an enriched, awe-inspiring ecosystem.
You mean to tell me that shrimp are awe-inspiring?
By themselves, not really, but without them, a shrimp cocktail, a lovely and fresh dish, would cease to be nothing but a cocktail, the destroyer of mega-livers.
It is very impressive how much diversity you create with so few elements.
Thank you. That was the only way I could create a whole universe and stay within budget.
I am most impressed with your creation of what
I must admit, so am I. It may be one of the most efficient liquids any student ever designed. I like how when the temperature drops below freezing, you designed it so that water falls as snowflakes instead of ice cubes.
Thank you. That took a lot of work.
Here's the most impressive statistic. Over 453 zillion snowflakes so far, and only 12 have been alive.
Thank you.
By the way, why did you have an ice age?
To be honest, I screwed up.
Well, that happens. It was early in the first.
I think one of your major aesthetic accomplishments is the fish. I never thought there could be one creature with so many colors and variations. Why do you even bother with creatures that slither or crawl or fly? I'm not sure.
You have to understand them to be...
They are just adorable.
Thank you.
Of course, I could do without a catfish.
They're good scavengers.
They are ugly. Couldn't you just have a little sillish try down their side? Can we begin discussing the human being? It seems to me that everything else is insignificant. Fish are not insignificant. Nevertheless, the human being does seem to be the determining factor in the eventual success or failure
Of the project. Which point, let's examine the human being.
I consider this human being the crowning achievement of my universe.
You know what I like best about the human being?
What?
Their hair. Not only is it adorable and sophisticated in its design, it's very cute.
Thank you.
Can I say this?
Sure?
I have one question regarding the human being.
Yes.
Why did you make them so stupid?
That's by squish.
All right. I'll rephrase it. Why didn't you make them smart?
I think they've created great civilizations. They've developed magnificent tools and brilliant works of art. Their awareness of the universe is increasing exponentially.
Stop exaggerating. It took them centuries just to come up with the concept of the sandwich. How smart do you have to be to think of putting a piece of meat between two pieces of bread?
But look at what else they've done. Look at what they've done with their languages. Look at English. With only 26 letters, they built a body of literature with great power, feeling and insight.
So, the creators on one of the other students' projects created a body of literature that's twice as profound and with only 17 letters. No inefficient letters like X or Q. Imagine inventing a letter that can only be used if it someone buys you. What was going on in their head?
Still, any species that has produced William Shakespeare,
Isn't he the one who wrote, "What a piece of work is that? How noble in the reason, how infinite in sense.
yes,
What a bunch of self-serving rubbish."
Because of it. Don't expect a good grade just because you printed a while years, do you?
of course not. The species has also produced Socrates, Freud, pedantry,
All of whom were presented, misunderstood, ostracized, or killed. This is how human beings treat their genius. And what type of organism would let fireflies only have one season? It was easily good for another dog.
What I don't understand is why are human beings so arrogant? They act as if they own the planet just because they are one step up from apes.
these humans do have much to be proud of.
If any creature has a reason to be arrogant, it is the cow.
I miss the section on cows.
This one animal spends all day doing nothing but eating grass. And at the end of the day, it secretes a liquid that's not only nutritious but can also become cheese and yogurt and butter and over 3,000 flavors of ice cream. Now, if cows aren't arrogant, why are humans? Great. Some of them do secrete milk too, but you can't even make cottage cheese from it.
May I remind you that this human being is the sole creature capable of transforming milk into all those other products. Without this human being, the earth would have been a mess of raw material with unrealized potential.
Are you saying it's a better planet because of cheese, though?
There's more to the picture than that.
From what I see, the rest of the planet was just as well off if the human being didn't exist.
Well, yes, it appears they can barely manage their own lives, let alone a life for the blind.
Most of them, to quote one of their earliest, lived lives of quiet desperation.
Except for New Yorkers,
who seem quite vocal about it.
Why did you keep these creatures domain over the planet?
well,
Yes.
Oh,
my roommate was supposed to transport a couple of human beings here so I could... It's very hard to understand them unless you meet them up close. They really are wondrous creatures.
Wondrous they may be, but do you honestly think they can run the planet as well as cows? You would never see some white cows enslaving black ones because of the white cow burden.
Look, I will admit that I did make one major error in designing the human being.
Their capacity for cruelty,
No,
their proclivity towards prejudice.
no,
their desire to destroy it which they can't control.
no.
What the?
None of them seem to do sex right.
They certainly try hard enough.
When the universe was still in the trap forms, I advised IFN to create some sort of mechanism to compensate for the brutalizing aspects of life. Something sweet and inspiring to ensure a peaceful planet. And so, I created the orgasm.
And
And I saw it was good.
Are you saying the world would be a better place if people had more orgasms?
Oh, no. I am not talking about quantity. I am talking about quality. It's psychologically impossible to detonate a nuclear device if you've just had a satisfying sexual experience.
Real.
Oh, yes. But I don't mean just physical sex. Physical sex is good only for procreation and curing acne, but when humans are willing to reveal their souls during the sexual act, they are united with all of the energy flowing through the universe. This spiritual sexual union was designed to cleanse fear from the soul, so that humans' capacity for goodness would rise to the surface and transform into enlightened action. It worked great in test cases.
What do you mean going there? Maybe I will want to go in there.
Don't cause a scene.
She's just causing the scene. Hey, buddy, I don't know who you are, but I'll go in there when I'm good and ready. What the hell?
Oh, good. I'm so glad you're finally here.
What the hell?
Make yourselves at home. Where are we? Just sit. You're late. Late for what? Relax. This won't take long. Please.
Please?
I'd like to introduce two typical human beings, John and Mary Smith. They're not extraordinary in any way, which is exactly why I chose them. John and Mary live with their two children in Concord, New Hampshire. John works as an expert in the field of ice cream tasting, spreading joy to millions worldwide. Mary, in turn, is a successful plastic surgeon with her own clinic. In their free time, they enrich their lives with various hobbies. Mary spends her hours assembling miniature ships in bottles, and John is a hard-garden virtuoso. I am proud to put the destiny of Earth in the hands of average people like them.
We are not them. I am John's brother, Jeffrey Smith, and this is my wife, Julie Smith.
Hi. But I told my roommate to bring a...
But they're on vacations. We're house sitting for them.
Really? See how caring human being is.
Well, John and Mary have a jacuzzi.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Who the hell are you, and why are we here?
Well, since you asked, my roommate teleported through a warp in dimensional barriers to Concord, New Hampshire, where he realigned your molecules into a pure energetic code. Then he teleported you here, and having analyzed your cellular structure and DNA, reatomized you into this dimension.
Yeah, I thought it was something like that.
You don't have to gain information so you can destroy our planet, do you?
Oh, no.
Just we don't know a thing on it. I believe that.
No, Caroline. This is just what in our dimension is the equivalent of one of your universities. These are professors in my department, and I am a student. You're just here as a part of my project.
Oh yeah? And what is your project?
I created the heavens and the earth.
Wait a second. Are you saying that you are...
I am who I am.
Sounds like that.
You mean, like, the entire universe is just like a science fair project?
More or less.
Suddenly, I feel so cheap.
So if my professors could just ask you some questions, it would really help my grade.
I work my fingers to the bone, and all I am is a part of some nerds science project.
Jeffrey, please. You will go to hell.
Oh, don't worry. Nothing you say here will be held against you.
I don't care. With my luck, I would give the folks CPR and I would still go to hell.
Maybe this wasn't such a good idea. These aren't the ones I wanted to praise.
They are every human being's own.
I'm not sure they're as common as John and Mary.
Well, the other day, my therapist called me one of the most ordinary people she knew.
Well then, I really don't think these people are in any condition to be questioned.
Oh, that's too bad. I've got so many questions I'd like to ask.
Go ahead. Waste your time. Ask about my life.
Actually, I think we've bothered them enough.
I think this is a wonderful opportunity to gain some insight into the human condition.
But these aren't the ones I want.
Why don't you just sit and be quiet for a while?
But I just don't think...
Very quiet.
But I just sit!
Now then, Jeffrey and Julie, why don't you tell us a little about yourselves?
Not much to say. We're just people, ordinary people. Jeffrey, what is your occupation?
You mean what I used to do before a bunch of pea-brained assholes laid me off?
Yes.
For 14 years, I worked on an assembly line. I got up every morning, drove 20 miles, and spent 8 hours tightening nuts.
And why were you laid off?
My entire division was replaced by a silicate chip.
I see.
Apparently, sand can do my job better than I can.
Can you try to get help from your unit?
Not yet, but I do plan to talk to my local union official as soon as he's paroled.
The guy was trained.
It's her brother.
He was doing a friend a little favor. If the government hadn't wired some that worker, nobody would have ever known.
Oh, have you considered changing careers, Jeffrey?
I thought of becoming a truck driver, but amphetamines give me headaches. I do have an interview next week at the toxic waste dump. They tell me garbage is a growth industry.
Should we do your work, Julie? Oh yes, I'm the directory assistance operator. What is that? Well, when people are too lazy or too stupid to use their phone books, they call this number and hear directory assistance. Then they tell me who they want to call. I push a button and this computer says, the number is 43210-893, or whatever the number is.
And how often each day you do this?
800-900 times?
I'm concerned that this might eventually get boring.
It got boring after a fourth call.
Then why don't you just change jobs?
Gee, I don't know. Most of life is boring, isn't it?
If I can just put this in later, you'll get a chance. But I said,
So, Jeffrey and Julie,
Do the two of you have children? Oh yes, Michael, who's 16, and Wendy, who's just about 13.
can you describe them?
They're just wonderful. Jeffrey,
They are pips.
Are they good students?
yeah.
And what do they excel at? Anything.
Michael was just made a group leader at his drug rehabilitation center.
Does Wendy take drugs?
No, never.
She just spends all day in the bathroom, dyeing her hair unnatural colors.
Some of which are very creative.
Yeah, like one day, her head is going to end up in an art gallery.
She's just going through a rough time. She still hasn't gotten over the shock of the fact that her full name is actually Gwendolyn.
Not to question your ways or nothing, but couldn't you think of anything better than puberty?
no, not really. I tried.
Jeffrey, please.
They're supposed to be all-knowing and all-powerful, and they can't even make their teeth growing straight. Do you know how much it cost me?
Jeffrey, please. We're supposed to be representing the entire human race.
I think you're doing splendid job. How is your sex life?
We really could use that information.
It's fine.
Jeffrey?
Yeah, it's fine.
So, you're both completely satisfied with your sex life.
Complete.
More?
It's fine. It's just fine.
Is it?
You design women. You know what it's like.
What is it like?
They just don't seem to like it as much as men.
I like it.
I know you like it.
I like it just fine.
You don't always like it.
I always fulfill my obligations, don't I?
I can't tell you what a turn-on that attitude is.
Well, maybe it's because I get tired of hearing you yell out Margot Robbie's name when you get excited.
That happened once, and you brought it up like 15
I swear there isn't one actress he hasn't slept with. In his mind, that is.
This is not a place to discuss this.
They want to know what we're like.
I've got a question.
Yeah?
When you designed women, why did you make it take them so long to rev up?
Actually, if their response cycle hasn't been repressed, it should not take long at all.
See? I told you it wasn't their fault.
Well, it wasn't mine.
Excuse me. Has either of you ever had a spiritual sexual union where you both feel reunited with the energies flowing through the universe so that all of your goodness rises to the surface and transforms into enlightened action secrets?
Well, what do you think we are? Perverts?
Well, we had read many of the manuals. Jeffrey lasts up to 6 minutes sometimes.
Those are the 6 minutes you will never see again.
Do you believe that intimacy is important in a relationship?
You mean sex?
Oh, no. I mean, intimacy, like being open and vulnerable.
I think intimacy is a keystone of a healthy relationship.
What makes you say that?
I read it in last month's Cosmo.
That's a woman's magazine.
Yeah, but I do think it's important. After all, without real intimacy, sex will be nothing but
Fun.
If I can do it now, I know, that's it.
Jeffrey and Julie, what would you say has been the best moment of your life?
Oh, that's easy. It was the day Jeffrey proposed to me. It was the first nice day of spring, and we were having this picnic in the park. And I had made a chicken salad sandwiches, macaroni salad, and potato salad.
Did Jeffrey make anything?
I think I brought a six-pack.
No, you were going to. But since I had to go back to the store to pick up more mayonnaise, you decided to let me get it.
Why couldn't Jeffrey purchase the mayonnaise when he went to buy a six-pack?
Anyway, so we were having this picnic, and when we finished eating, I wiped Jeffrey's mouth with my napkin, and he wiped my mouth with his.
And then there's this thing that we do.
And I remember Jeffrey looking right into my eyes and saying, "Let's make it legal." And I thought this man knows what I want.
And was that day the best moment of your life too, Jeffrey?
Yes, of course.
You don't have to lie to them. You told me what you thought was the best.
The day I proposed was one of the best.
And what was the best?
That was in spring, a good few years ago. What you have to understand first is that the day was completely and utterly whack. I cannot stress that enough. 100% whack.
Wet.
Yes. A colloquial adjective was origin in
Whatever. The point is, the day was just plain bizarre in the worst possible way. See, there is this coworker of mine, former coworker of mine, Jimmy. The two of us engaged in this prank war of some sort for the better part of my career. On that day, Jimmy here decided to take things too far and slipped some only... you know what? Into my drink over break. Next thing I know, I am back home, completely soaked out of my gourd. Mind you, this is Concord Spring. We get crazy winds over there. And because all of our windows were older than my mother-in-law, the draft was unbearable. I gave up and decided to go to the backyard.
And that was the best moment of your life.
I was getting to it. So, in the backyard, I hate being interrupted. So, in the backyard, I had the most brilliant idea ever. Why not bust open the grill while the house is empty? Now, I don't know if any of you enjoy grilling. I guess not. Essentially, grilling up a perfect steak is an art form. Either it is overcooked or it is undercooked or you manage to straight up burn it. I mean, you still eat it because that's what life is all about. Accepting and owning up to the mistakes you make, but it's nothing to get all steamed up over. But this steak, it was perfect. It was the best damn cut of meat I have ever had in my entire life. There I was, all alone, outside a drafty house, cooked on my skull, thinking about my culinary masterpiece.
I really mustn't. I told you. But I just don't think it's fair to judge the whole human race based on such a limited sample.
Take a little responsibility for your own actions.
Oh, we're going to hell, I know it.
They said we could say whatever we wanted.
Yes, but we don't know if they are going to be loving and forgiving or righteous and vindictive.
Why do you insist upon giving me human qualities? It's quite a projection.
You created us.
But I give you free will?
That's it. So take it away.
I am not taking it away.
You and your free will. What good is it? I exert my free will all over the place, and all it does is gets me thrown out of bars.
You don't understand the concept. I give you choices.
Yeah, like the ability to vote for a president, and then making all the candidates jerks.
There's smarter than that.
Look, if I really had free will, do you think this is the life I would have free willed?
Maybe it is.
Let me tell you, if you designed me so that I would make the free will choice over this life, then you are really sick.
Jeffrey, you could have made better choices.
I can't afford better choices. My credit cards are already up to the limit.
Excuse me.
Jeffrey?
It's like everything that's great about life, they're supposed to get credit for. And everything that's lousy and bad is supposed to be our fault. That's not fair.
Jeffrey, please.
It's just not fair.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry, but our time is almost over.
If I may, I have one final question.
Go ahead, Zilla.
So, do you think that the world is getting better or worse?
Worse.
Much worse. Everyone knows that.
Then why do you keep on living?
What do you mean?
Well, your life's very from quality go boring to dismal. Your future holds no promises. Why you people live?
I got a hold of my nail text yesterday. I'm not going to die now.
Yeah.
And this is why you people live it. Well, But we also have to sneak around for the kids.
Yeah.
After all, if it weren't for us, who'd be their role models? Well...
I think you just blew it.
They're good kids.
I know. But you can't tell that by looking at them.
They're going to be fine. Eventually. They're just going through a difficult phase.
Called life.
With this entity, I still don't understand why do you people live in?
If you're suggesting I drop dead, forget it. That would make too many people happy.
There are things in life to look forward to, you know? Special things. Things that make life worth living.
Thank you.
Oh, well, every Thursday the work cafeteria has tiramisu. And on every weekend mornings, I get to cancel my alarms. Oh, and about every 6 months, I'll meet one of my friends, and they'll ask, how are you doing, girl? Like they really mean it.
Don't you think those are rather trivial things?
So, I lead a rather trivial life. I know that.
I don't think you guys realize how hard it is being a human being.
Is it difficult?
You bet it is.
You never feel like you have enough brains.
And you are always getting these urges, these impulses that make no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, your kids look to you for answers, and you can't think of anything. So you end up giving them the same stupid answers your parents gave you.
When I think there are people dumber than I am, I get scared. So, why did you do it?
Do what?
Why did you make us so messed up?
You're missing the point. I didn't create the human being so that each one would work perfectly. I created the human being so that the humanity as a whole would work perfectly.
But humanity as a whole doesn't work perfectly.
It doesn't work at all, and we have it better than most.
Do you?
Oh yes. Most of people, if they get through childhood without dying of hunger or disease, all they got left is a life full of pain, misery, and injustice.
But I gave human beings all the resources they need. Why? I given you the ingredients for paradise.
Oh, you're a real thief, you know that.
What do you mean?
You made the world so wonderful, and our lives so difficult. I mean, maybe we are not the best examples of human beings, but, well, we're trying as hard as we can. And we really want to be decent people. And we want our kids to turn out right. And we want to live happy lives. And we're really trying our best. Do you know what it's like to know you're doing your best and your life still stinks?
Good work, buddy. Come on. You're doing okay.
I'm not.
Oh, yes, you do. Now look at me. You are a great mother, you are a good wife, and you are one of the best damn directory assistance operators in Concord.
You really think so?
Hey, as far as I'm concerned, anyone who needs a phone number and calls you is a lucky man.
Thanks.
And if our kids turn out okay, and when our kids turn out okay, it will be all because of you.
Well, you had to do a lot, Wayne.
I hope they don't end up like me at all. That's my hope for the future.
I think we are ready to decide your break.
But all humans aren't like this. If only you had met John and Mary.
Of course. Show off a couple of bozos you made life easy for.
I gave them the exact same universe I gave you.
You sound just like my dad sometimes. Know that?
John and Mary have done so much with their lives.
John is the biggest kiss-ass in Concord.
No, he is not.
Oh, yes, he is. Even when he goes to church, it's not to pray. He just wants to suck up to you.
I see.
And Mary is worse.
Is she, Julie?
Do I have to be honest?
We would appreciate it.
Well then. Mary, who for the record no longer has the nose you gave her. I mean, she may spend all day in the operating room, but have you ever just tried to sit down with her and have a nice conversation? I fixed so many people today, Julie. Of course, not as many as you gave your phone numbers to.
They are great human beings, all right. I am sure they could have given you all the answers you wanted.
And for the rest of our lives, they would have bored us at dinner parties saying, "We helped the Almighty get an A."
Can I just say one thing on my behalf?
Go ahead. This is your chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, so ahead.
So there's wishes. We're listening.
We just looked so good on paper.
Thank you. We'll focus now to decide your break.
Which they decide right on the spot.
Yes.
What degree are you going for anyway?
My MU.
And you?
Master of the Universe.
You have to consider the exquisite beauty of their design, but they're not practical.
Can I ask you a question about the nature of the universe that has bothered me since I was a little kid?
Sure.
How come Mike is short for Michael, but bike somehow is not short for bicycle?
I don't think I can answer that one.
Nobody can.
Despite of all their glory, they have survived for thousands and thousands of years.
And they have such nice hair. Their hair is indeed nice. It's from the scalp down. They make me nervous.
This is gonna make some stories.
Oh, I'm afraid once you've teleported back to Earth, you won't remember anything.
There goes the movie sale.
And I've already decided what I'm going to wear on the talk show.
Let's face it, we will have to spend the rest of our lives as average people.
Yeah. Yes, there is much wrong with the project. I still don't think it's fair to distribute an underachiever.
I just don't see why they created that. They serve no practical use. Maybe they are not per se, but there's something so beautiful and special about them.
Hey, is it okay if I let my hair down?
Go right ahead.
Babe?
Fried your hair again today?
No.
You gotta stop destroying your hair with that dang curler every blasted morning.
My hair just looks like that.
No, the hell it does not. Do you have any idea how high the power bill was last month?
I'm changing my grade! What did I do? Nothing.
I think we decided decided your rate? There is much that is commendable about your project, both in Earth's evolutionary ability and its astonishing variety of beauty. The human beings truly are wondrous and fascinating. Nevertheless, the three of us agree that the human being's design is tragically flawed. Look at them, they are so scared and confused by their own drives. What good are all their noble qualities when by the time of adulthood, most of them have developed a grudge against life itself? I'm afraid we are going to give you a C+.
C plus?
C plus?
I'm sorry.
Wait a second. We don't live in a C plus universe.
It's at least a B.
I created fruits and vegetables and fish that swim and birds that fly and artists and athletes and thinkers and leaders, and all I get is a C plus. I gave this project everything I had. Everything.
Some of us felt the grape was generous.
All I can say is, it's easy to sit back and judge. Real easy. How do you guys know that you are not just somebody else's science project? Eh? I bet right now a higher being is giving your entire dimension a D.
I don't understand. After all your complaints...
So I was in a bad mood. You got us at a bad time.
It was just before bedtime.
And on a Saturday night, if you get my drift.
So 6 minutes mean a lot to us.
They do.
Well, you know they do.
I sorta hoped, but I never assumed that.
Well, of course.
And I keep worrying that one day they will come up with a silicon chip.
I just don't see why these people live in. I will tell you why.
Wow.
Well, because things could get better, that's why.
That's right. Things could get always better.
What makes you say that?
Tell them.
I haven't the slightest idea, but I guess we were designed that way. When push comes to shove, I guess we were designed to have a fate.
See, I told you they're not as big a jerk as you think they are.
I'm sorry, though. Great is fine.
You want my advice? Next time, don't design it in your own image. It's very narcissistic. I always take care of your hair. and always respect cows.
Don't be too hard on yourself. You did the best you could.
That makes it even more depressing.
It's only the universe. Did your best. But please, be super.
I'm sorry if we blew your grade.
No, it's my fault. I should have never goofed off on the 7th day.
Well, if it means anything, we are glad you created us.
Are you? Are you, Jeffrey?
When I think about it, I mean, life is not that bad. Once you get over the disappointment, it stinks.
I will remember that.
I mean, I think we are completely messed up. But I'm glad that we are here.
Thank you.
So, you wanna grab a cold one?
Oh, I better have you teleported back to Earth.
Oh, by the way, can you tell me if there is such a thing as reincarnation?
I really cannot discuss such things.
Well, if it does exist, could you bring me back as a bunny rabbit? Everybody loves bunny rabbits.
And could you bring me back as an eagle?
An eagle?
Yes, an eagle. Just once in my entire life, I would like to fly real high on my own power. Real high. So I would look down and get a clear view of our pale blue dot.
That's such a nice desire, Jeffrey.
I get my moments.
Shall we go?
Yeah.
After you. Well, I think it's good.
All right. Sorry, they gave me a microphone. I'm going to yap. It's also the end of semester, so I'm feeling very emotional. So thank you again, all of you, for coming here and supporting us so that we're not just a bunch of crazy people running around screaming at each other. And also, I would like to thank some people. Namely, I would first... Okay, I'm going to thank everyone, okay? Again, they gave me a microphone. That's on them. First, I would like to thank the actors. A lot of them are first-time actors or like first time at least in ActofKAA, and it takes a lot of courage to just stand on stage and make a complete idiot out of yourself in front of a lot of people. So please give them one more round of applause. And 10 points for Gryffindor. I would also like to thank our backstage team. They're not always the most visible ones, but their work is, and without them we really could not stage stuff like this. Yeah, you can clap. It's nice. I would maybe like to point out Mary, who is took to herself to lead our backstage team, and also she spent this semester running around with a hammer like a Thor, just magically fixing everything. We are not worthy, and also happy birthday. We also have a PR team who made sure that all of you knew when and where to come, and they designed the flyers and they posted on our social media, and so a big thank you to them, and specifically to Dashka, who leads them for multiple semesters now. Sorry, I forgot how many. We love your energy as the two of you. And actually, not last and definitely not least, I would like to thank our beautiful directors, specifically, well, our director, Nika, and our director assistant, Becca, for making the time and patience and working with all of us and not losing their minds, because it was close a couple of times. And I would also like to mention our chairman, Bashka, who can't be here with us, but she did a great job of managing everything, and our ex-chairman, Milan, who is currently enjoying Spain instead of being here. We're definitely not jealous. And they did a really great job of managing the finance and the mountain of paperwork that goes into doing shit like this. So, yeah. And lastly, I will remind you about the chlebičky that are like just through the left door. Chlebičky and champagne. Please feel free to stay a couple of minutes, eat some chlebičky. They are like from another dimension, I promise. And yeah, thank you for being here and spending this evening with us.